dear ones, today we're going to have some real talk about rest and recovery and meditation. And, we as humans, as living, breathing beings, we have kind of three markers of health. And so one is having nourishing food, one is having nourishing movement, and the final is having nourishing rest. And we live right now in these constant cycles of stress, of depletion, of like the glorification of the hustle. And we think that rest or silence or stillness, if we're not actively doing something or pushing something forward, that we're somehow in a space of weakness or unproductivity, God forbid. And we have this constant drive to figure it all out. And so rest is not only a part of our regular conversation and consideration, it's actually pushed down and really thought down upon. And so we tend to, hear of practices like meditation and kind of know that there's beneficial properties. We hear about stress relief, we hear about helping our bodies recover and things like that, but we don't prioritize it. We don't make it a point to get on the mat or to just sit down and breathe. And so, meditation is like that thing we've heard of that's good for us, but we never do. So I want to just have some real talk around rest and space and silence because they're incredibly powerful and very necessary. And meditation, we talk about the health benefits, we talk about, relieving stress, anxiety, depression, those sorts of let me quote these facts and figures. But what's also true is that meditation actually connects us to our power. We can actually show up more and more meaningfully in our lives, no matter what we're doing. And so we don't think about space and rest as actually helping to move the marker on all the things we do want to create. All the things if we want to show up more in our families or in our work or moving our career forward or, even just volunteering or having community projects, we show up better and more meaningfully in those spaces when we have that balance of nourishing of food, of movement, and of rest. It's a very necessary component. And one of the things that I think is so powerful about meditation is that it connects us to our power. So presence, which is really the state of being that we endeavor into and connect to in meditation, presence is power. And it's power at depth, not this surface level, I'm gonna do the damn thing. I mean, that's great. Motivation, willpower, discipline, those are beautiful components of how we are in the world and can serve us in certain ways. But actually, presence is incredibly potent. And so meditation is not just helping our bodies, although it's helping our bodies. It's not just helping to relieve things. And so there's this corrective factor, although there is that. It's also about coming back to our wholeness. The most powerful thing from my perspective about meditation is that it gives us permission to show up and be with ourselves. And for some people that can be a really scary, albeit terrifying kind of thing. But it also is a pathway of healing. And so it connects us back to this innate wholeness, this innate brilliance that we have within ourselves. We tend to be so cerebral and intellectual in our lives. We live so much from the neck up. We're constantly thinking, analyzing, validating, trying to figure it all out. We want the 27-point strategy plan to perfect success. All well and good, but actually there's a deeper, more nourishing part of ourselves that already knows all the right answers and all the next steps. Those things that we're seeking for outside of ourselves, those things that we're that are moving us forward in a sense, they're already right here within us. Resolution is already unfolding. Success and thriving are already unfolding. But oftentimes we're checked out of this moment because we're trying to strategize and analyze and figure it all out. That's not to judge how we normally are. There's an element of care and a desire to be all we can be in all of that, and that's a really beautiful thing. But we actually have incredible brilliance and genius already within us, and meditation provides that pathway to connect to that. And so if we want to feel better in our lives, not just physiologically, although there is that, and not just on this kind of surface level plane, but actually to feel tapped in, tuned in, turned on at depth, meditation's your portal. It gives you the capacity to not only feel better in this moment, but also to show up better and more authentically yourself in everything that you do. So meditation is super powerful. And the mind, honestly, thinks we need a much more extravagant strategy, and the mind is incorrect in that. We think we need to, come up with all these complexity of layers, and actually if we were just to sit down and breathe and listen to ourselves, there's so much potency and brilliance already right here and now. So meditation brings us back to our wholeness. It also allows us to disengage from that constant cycle of expectation and judgment to let this breath, this heartbeat be enough. So to come back to that wholeness that we already are, come back to acceptance and embracing and honoring of ourselves. And there's your power.